morning. It is 7:05 and I am just now getting on. Got a little damper right there. So I just wanted to, I'm still getting myself together. Oh, I apologize. I didn't even make it throw completely off. So, yes, I have on a Titan shirt because next Thursday is the draft. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And so I'm hopeful that we will get a quarterback on my draft. Oh, this is my hair. That we will get a quarterback because I'm hoping that we will get Cam Ward. Because, we have lots of needs, the Titans do, but we can't do nothing if you don't have somebody to throw the ball. So, hopefully, we will get a quarterback because Levis is not the answer. He's more like a question. He's not the answer. He's more like a question. So hopefully this is my tribute to the Titans that we will do well on our draft picks next Thursday and build our franchise accordingly because it's getting hard to be a Titans fan right about now. So today, kind of leads right into it. Today's conversation is about how to bounce back from failure. Because the reality is we all are going to make mistakes. We're all going to fail in something. So how do we then make sure that that we're bouncing back from the failure and that we don't become the failure? So let's dive in. We all are going to fail at something. It's inevitable. We are not born with unlimited knowledge. So we must learn how to walk, tie our shoes, ride a bike, manage our money, fall in love, in relationships, stand up for ourselves. The list goes on. I'm sorry, I got something. I feel like when I look up though, okay, I got something in my head. Okay, keep going. And we may need to repeat those failures several times before we get it right. That does not mean you are a failure. It means that you are willing to continue to grow, learn, evolve, push, mature, seek until you have found that thing, person, career, peace that makes you whole and complete. That's going to bother the shit out of me. Okay, go. That makes you complete. And that until your purpose is fulfilled and manifested. Unfortunately, many people will begin to settle, adjust their goals, or worse, quit. Because the journey is so hard and you're embarrassed by the failure. And you'll say to yourself, what will people think? Listen and listen good. People are going to think about you whatever they want to think about you. If people have a perception of you, that's on them. Now, if you're an asshole and you tend to treat people badly, that's one thing. But if you treat people with kindness and compassion, and you're being your genuine self, you're showing up as the best version of yourself, you're a work in progress, and you share that and you acknowledge that, and you're being genuine, but people are expecting a different experience or a different version of you, that's completely on them. One of the things that I've learned, and I've had to learn the hard way, is because I'm hard on myself. How many out there are hard on themselves too? Is that when we experience failure, we're so embarrassed to let people know that we're struggling, that we failure. I know people will say, well, I don't want everybody to know my business. Look, I'm not saying that you have to advertise your business, but I'm also saying that don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to fail or acknowledge that failure or work on that failure because you're afraid what people are going to think. Because again, at the end of the day, people are going to think about you whatever they want to think about you. And if people want to gossip about you and say, see, I told you so, because I've had a couple of those in my life. The see, I told you so, you can't live your life by the see, I told you so's. You have to live your life with intention and purpose. And if growth and if failure is one of the things that has to happen for your growth, embrace it. We're going to talk about that. So how do we bounce back from a failure and move forward? I have 4 steps. Number 1, and this is the most important one. Resist the urge to shut down. When we fail and make a mistake, the first thing we want to do is cut off that thing. We want to cut off that pain. We want to cut off that experience. And while there is a need to often step back. Happy Friday, Renee, and happy belated birthday. Everybody jump in and make sure that they say happy belated birthday to my BFF. Good morning, Miss Anita. Thank you for joining me today. One of my favorite people. Make sure you jump in and say hi to her as well. Is when we completely shut down, when those experiences happen, you have to resist the urge to shut down, to chalk it all off and say, this was a mistake. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done this. This was that. You have to resist that urge to do that. And so you resist that urge to completely shut down by not dwelling on the negativity. You can acknowledge the failure without beating yourself up or making excuses. Sometimes things just don't work. You tried, it didn't work. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that the situation's a failure. It doesn't mean that the situation can't rectify itself. It's just on that particular thing, on that particular test, on that particular bike ride, you fail. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't ride a bike again. Just means that in that situation, you didn't reach and achieve your goal. So acknowledge that failure without beating yourself up. Number 2, resist the urge to shut down. Take responsibility. Accept the fact, the role that you played, and don't shift the blame. One of the hardest things to deal with is when someone makes a mistake or they have a failure and they blame you for it. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't have anything to do with that. I wasn't even there. But when you are able to accept the role that you played in that mistake, that's a huge level of growth. So part of that resist the urge to shut down is don't dwell on the negativity, but also take responsibility. Recognize that it's a learning opportunity. View it as a chance to grow and improve and not a personal setback. You failed at that thing, but you are not a failure. So you tried a business. The business didn't work. You're not a bad business person. That particular business, for whatever reason, may not have worked. Maybe it was the wrong, maybe what you thought of your business plan was before its time. My father had a mobile kitchen years ago. I mean, almost 25 years ago. Now mobile kitchens and things are popular, but my father was ahead of his time. So sometimes your idea isn't as a bad idea, it's just ahead of his time. Or maybe it's just you didn't have the right skill set to go in. It's an opportunity to learn something different. So recognize that failure as an opportunity to learn. You are not the failure. That thing failed, but you are not. And part of that resist the urge to shut down is this won't be your last failure. If you're committed to growth, you will have another season of where things won't be what you thought or what you expected. So when you have a failure, don't say, oh, I'm just going to resist the urge to shut down and I'm not going to do it again. Because guess what? You're going to have another season. If you're committed to this thing, if you're committed to your growth, if you're committed to having healthy relationships, if you're committed to saving your money, you're going to have seasons of drought and you have seasons of plenty. Understand that when you have setbacks, this won't be your last one. But using the knowledge from that failure, it can better prepare you for the next one. You'll know what to do. You'll know not how to act. I'm just getting on my nerves. You'll know what to bring into that season to be well equipped. So number 1, resist the urge to shut down. Don't dwell on the activity. Take responsibility. Recognize it as a learning opportunity and understand this won't be your last failure. Number 2, reflect and learn. Identify the root cause. Analyze what went wrong and why. Maybe when you started this business, you didn't know enough about it. Maybe when you entered into this relationship, you didn't take long enough to understand, or you didn't work on your own stuff. Let me just say that. You didn't work on your own stuff. So you went into this relationship with someone thinking that they were going to be able to bring things to the table, but you didn't bring anything to the table. And it's easy to say that that it's on them, but really the focus was on you. So when you experience a failure, identify what went wrong and why. Second part of that is document your insights. When you're in a healthier mental place, take time to think about the failure you experienced. Keep a record of lessons learned to avoid repeating that mistake. And that is really beneficial when you're having a business or when you're trying to take something new. It's like taking a test. And when you were in school, everybody remember taking a test, you might have failed the first test. Analyze Document your insight. Where did I mess those questions up? What did I not comprehend about that? So that when this test comes again, I can answer those questions correctly. Oh, thank you. Good morning. Everybody jump in and say good morning. Miss Monica, she is, let me just say this as well. She is a gym rat and she is my inspiration. I'm trying to get like her. I hate working out next to her. She's such in great shape. That's my girl. So when you reflect and learn, document your insights. Make sure that you have taken the time when you're in a healthier mental place. Because if you're beating yourself up about your failure, you're not in a good mental space. When you get in a better space, you want to take the time to think and evaluate exactly where you went wrong and document it. Write it down. Say, this is where I messed up. This is a lesson learned. Take it away from there. Another part of reflect and learn is seek feedback. Ask for constructive criticism from others, from trusted people, to gain different perspectives. So when you have a trusted tribe of people, you can then ask them to help you critique, because sometimes when we're in stuff, we can't see the forest for the trees. And I know I tend to be that. I'm a very, I've been told, and it's very true, I'm a rose-colored kind of person, but I honestly get that honestly. My father was like that. My father was very much, he saw the good in everybody. Even when they didn't deserve it, he saw the good in them. And I try to do that as well. Because I know how messed up I am. I know how messed up my mistakes can be. So when I meet people, I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And that, sometimes it'll have you make friends or business partners and associates with people who aren't on that same page as you. So that's why having a tribe of people, and I'm blessed with mine, who can give you that constructive feedback, who come from a place of love and say, this is what happened, and help you see that lesson. So again, ask for constructive criticism from others, trusted people, to gain perspective. Just don't ask any willy-nilly, because some people will use it as an opportunity to devalue you and degrade you and throw stuff up in your face. If you got friends that constantly, when you seek their advice and you're looking for them to give you that positive feedback to grow, and all they got is criticism and negativity, don't ask them for feedback. And also on the reflect and learn, stop trying and train for your goals. Because trying is a casual attempt, while training is a structured, deliberate process focused on developing your skills, knowledge, and capacities and capabilities through a sustained effort and progress. So when people say, well, I'm going to try this. No. Do you want to try, or do you want to train for it? Do you want to, because trying just means that if it works out, it doesn't. I'm going to try to run this business. I'm going to try. Or am I going to train? Am I going to put forth the effort? Am I willing to stay up late? Am I willing to do the things? Am I willing to sacrifice? Am I willing to put forth the effort? Am I going to be like Monica? Am I going to go to the gym and I'm going to be committed to it even when I don't feel like it? Or am I just going to try to lose some weight? Tiger Woods famously had a great swing that helped him win his first Masters, but he wasn't satisfied. He broke down his swing, often losing matches, until he perfected his new one to help him win his second Masters. Because he was training for his new swing, he wasn't trying. Number 3, develop a growth mindset. Embrace the challenges. View challenges as an opportunity for growth and development. You're going to have challenges. Life is not easy for any of us. And so when we have that growth mindset, when challenges come our way, instead of saying, oh Lord, why is this happening to me? What is going on? This is not fair. What's the challenge here? Because again, whatever you believe in, to whomever you pray, I believe that your higher power comes. I call him Jesus. But I believe the trials and tribulations come not just to try your faith, but to pull things out of you that you have forgotten. And that God, I call him God, but that your higher power needs you to bring into the world. So yeah, sometimes it's challenging, but that just means you got to dig deeper. You have to develop that sense of resiliency and embrace that challenge. Because if you were not able to do it, it wouldn't come to you. If you were not able to rise up and meet that goal, it wouldn't be in you. Focus on learning. Prioritize from learning from your mistakes versus avoiding them. And this is a good in relationships. So maybe you haven't had the best dating record. It happens. But versus avoiding having a relationship, why don't you learn your mistakes from them? Because of my own insecurities, I tend to attract these type of men or type of women. Because I'm not healed and whole in my own right, I tend to gravitate toward people who are needy or whatever. Because I have this longing in me to fix people, I tend to meet people who are incomplete. See, those are real growth statements. That means you're focusing on your learning. You're not saying, oh, all men or women are bad. You're saying, I bring these set of skills to the table. I also bring these set of barriers to the table. I'm going to focus on what my barriers are. I'm not going to focus on what they bring. I'm focusing on what I bring. And when I focus on what I bring to the table, whether that's work, relationships, then I can eat from what I bring. I'm not focused on what they bring. I'm going to have my own potluck. I'm not going to focus on what they do. I'm going to focus on what I do. So when you focus on your mistakes versus avoiding them, you also learn how to trust yourself. You learn how to build your resiliency. And again, a growth area for me was learning how that I know that I can trust myself. Yes, Tracy's going to make mistakes. Yes, I screwed up more than a few. But I trust that at the end, I'm going to do right, not just by me, but by all those who I love. And I'm going to do what my higher power, God, called me to do. So focus on the learning. Develop a growth mindset. Be persistent. Don't give up so easily. Failure is a stepping stone to success. I was doing some research because everybody knows I love being a health life coach, and I love building my business, but I'm always interested in how to make it better. And I came across an article that said it takes 5 years on average. It takes 5 years for a business to turn a profit. But the average person quits after 6 months. It takes 5 years to build a successful business, but most people quit in 6 months. So if you understand that when you're persistent, you got to be in it for the long haul. If that means that you have to reevaluate your business, if that means that, okay, well, I need to look at my pricing, or maybe I need to look at better marketing or study more about the craft to make me better. I know my cousin Kamika tells me I'm always in school to learn something, which I am, but that's because I want to be a knowledgeable health coach. I want a life coach. I don't want to just say what I want to stay on top of the trends. I constantly want to make sure that the information I'm getting is relevant. So I'm persistent. I stay educated. I stay up on my stuff, and I just stay committed to the grind. When you want to develop a growth mindset, you also need to have gratitude. Practice the gratitude for the good things in life, which can help you maintain a positive outlook. I'm so grateful that I woke up this morning. There was others who went to bed with me last night that didn't. I'm grateful that I have a house with a roof on it. I'm grateful that I have a dog that gets on my nerves, but that's my fur baby. When we take the time to be grateful for the smallest things, then what happens is it changes our outlook, and we begin to become so grateful for the big things. But if you can't be grateful for the small things, you're never going to appreciate the big things. And then again, positive thinking. Challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. I think we talked about this before, but I'm doing some research on pain neuroscience for work. And one of the things that is really interesting is that the brain has no choice to believe what you give it. So if you tell your brain, this hurts, I'm in constant pain, and guess what? The brain is going to send out those warning signals to every part of your neurons in your body to say, we're hurting, we're in pain. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not in pain, but your brain has no choice but to believe what you put in it. So if you tell your brain, I'm not going to do well at this, then guess what? Your brain has no choice but to believe I'm not going to do well with it. If you tell yourself, I'm never going to lose weight, I'm never going to fall in love, I'm never going to own a house, Then guess what? Your brain begins to believe those things, and it alters your processes that you begin to see only the negative. So challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. Getting close to time. And number 4, take action and move forward. Set new goals. Clearly define your objectives and how you plan to achieve them. Improve your skills. Invest in development and by taking courses, attending workshops, find a mentor. Seek someone that is. You never want to seek someone who's on the same level as you. You want to seek someone who's going where you're going. So if you're trying to develop your business, if you're trying to have a healthy relationship, find people who have healthy relationships and who have successful businesses. Find mentorship. Like and follow people on Facebook or social media who are going where you want to go. Seek support. Don't hesitate to ask for help from your family, friends, and mentors. Let them know, hey, I'm struggling in this area. Could I get some, I need knowledge and support in that area. Again, none of us are born with unlimited knowledge. A lot of us, we're born with what we're born with, and we have to grow and develop and enhance that knowledge. So seek out support from those who have knowledge that can benefit you. And lastly, make sure you celebrate those small victories. Acknowledge your progress so you can stay motivated. If you lose 2 pounds, celebrate it. I'm not saying celebrate 2 pounds by going out and have some cheesecake, but I am saying celebrate your small victories along the way. I had a wonderful workshop with on Black women in menopause, and I think we had like 12 women participate. I celebrated that victory. That might not seem like a lot to anybody, but if it was just 2 people, I'm celebrating those small victories because that means that people are resonating with what I say and the information that I'm sharing, not what I say, but the information that I'm sharing. So celebrate those small victories along the way. If you got up this morning and you walked further than you walked ever before, celebrate that. Lastly, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your beliefs. Jump in the chat. Let me know about what you think about how to bounce back from failure. What do you think about the trying versus training, and how to develop a growth mindset? Next week, we're going to talk about divine assignments. It's kind of it's going to build on this process of when you make a mistake, how we bouncing back. And now we're going to learn and talk about how to walk in that divine assignment. Again, that's not a religious thing, but this is more of, we all have a divine assignment. We all come here with specific knowledge and skills. And now that we know we're going to have failures, how do we then take this information and walk squarely into our divine assignments? I'm going to give out my 2 love notes. My first love note goes to Renee Spencer. I want to wish her a happy belated birthday. I love me some Renee Spencer. I do. I love you, Renee. You are just one of the kindest, nicest people. She is like, I could just go on for days to talk about Renee. We have this group chat of all of us from South Nashville and high school, and just everybody jumped in there and just talked about how much they love Renee. And I have the blessing. I have the honor of getting to love her and be a great friend to her. So, Renee, love note to you. I love you. Happy belated birthday. Everybody jump in and wish Renee a happy belated birthday. Porch time with Renee. And my second love note goes to my lovely line sisters of the 12 Chosen Few. Yesterday, we celebrated our 26th anniversary. We crossed into Delta Land. I always remember we crossed into Delta Land on Renee's birthday. And I just want to give love to 2 of my line sisters who are no longer with us. Rest in peace, Lynn and Lorraine. And today's reading, I'm going to go, is from this daily devotional. I use this. It's the Pivot Year. It's from Brianna Wiest. Great book. It's a great devotional. If you're looking for something just to have meditation and easy to just have a daily meditation with, this is a great book. And I'm going to read yesterday's, day 100. Life knows things you don't. It's heard conversations you haven't. It's realized the truth about some people you have not yet completely come to know. Trust life when it seems like the very things you want suddenly no longer want you back. You have to believe that life is protecting your heart from any further damage. It's ensuring that you will not waste another hour of your precious time on what's not in your best interest. Life is not turning its back on you, so you must learn not to turn your back on it. Pivot year, again, I highly recommend this. If you're just looking for something that if you're developing your meditation skills or your quiet time skills, this is an easy book to read. It's 365. It's great for you. Also, I wanted to share this real quick, and I'm going to go. I'm reading this book as well. I'm a serial book reader. Emotional Self-Care for Black Women. If you're looking to develop your self-care skills, this here, we'll be implementing a lot of this as well into our upcoming Girlfriends Brunch with Tracy. So, hope everybody has a great weekend. I thank you for joining me, whether you watch me live or you watch me later. Know that I appreciate you. I love you. I respect you. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Tighten up. If we don't draft a quarterback, I'll probably be stretched out on the street somewhere next Thursday. All right, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. All right, bye-bye.